we are doing the Super Draft 4 Pro Edition Handbook reading. Me and Graham
Hello.
are here doing it because all the other admins are asleep. Although Happy the Andy is in the chat, and it's like 2 a.m. in Britain right now. Wonder what degenerate things you might be getting up to at 2 a.m. in Britain on a Monday evening.
Watching a Canadian and American
No
at that
Vikings
age.
for Happy the Andy. Well, no promises because you're not even subscribed, so you failed the first part about bribing the admins to actually send the bribe. So, for the people that hate reading, 2:30 a.m. weekend for me. Ah, okay, well, lucky for you.
Got it.
Also,
Well,
let me
here
know
you
if the
go.
music is too loud. I didn't want to have no music, but I can't really tell if it's too loud for the stream viewers and potential VOD watchers. Wow, cheers for the gift, Graham. Now, who don't you want to get? This how you do a bribe properly, Andy. But yeah, if the music's too loud, let me know and I'll tone it down. Yeah, so this is for all the people that hate reading, don't want to read, too lazy to read, or claim they can't find the handbook link anywhere, even though it's linked like 8 times in this server and on Liquipedia and in every post we make it. Okay, a little loud? Okay, I'll turn it right down then, but it'll still be slightly off.
Okay.
Okay. Hopefully that's okay, I hope. It's about as low as it can go without being off.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for the feedback, my loyal viewer. Alright, so here we go. Super Draft 4 Pro Edition. We really need to get Stark to sign up, so we can have the 4s as A's synergy. I thought that's the only reason he signed or joined the server. It's like, wow, they're using a 4 as an A? That's just like me. So yeah, here are the admins. Here's my beautiful logo I made with some feedback and help from Blue Player. Also, we got a new admin live updating on stream/video. John Perkins has joined the admin team. Another person with a 0 as an O. I will show you what he contributed later. It's sick.
Oh, right on.
It is absolutely sick. Also, Andy just subscribed, maybe. I think my alerts are not working properly. Cause now it says Andy is a subscriber.
When you're staring at a
now
demigod,
it's working.
what can I say?
Oh yeah, there we are.
Luigi, number
I don't understand where. Yeah, my alerts are really not working properly, but I don't actually know how to fix them. Like, I don't think I have any follower alerts right now, which is weird. But hey, anyways, we'll fix that maybe before the stream starts, because hopefully I did have a goal this year, have a stream with over 100 viewers. I feel like the best chance for that would be during the draft, considering we almost have 100 signups.
Oh, that would be awesome. Super awesome.
Alright, so yeah, John Perkins is a new admin. You can DM him admin stuff if you really want to. He might not know stuff, but he has done a sick job with the Google Forms this tournament. It is awesome. Also, slight amendment to the timeline. The round robin stage is now starting on the 10th, because that is when the draft will be. On the 10th, which is Sunday at 17 GMT, I think. I think that's what we said. Maybe it was 19. Sometime between 17 and 19 GMT on Sunday the 10th. And yeah, then we got a month of round robins. 4 rounds, play them in any order you want. Then a week for quarters, a week for semis, and hopefully we have the finals on the 21st, but we would like to cast most of the finals live. I will cast pretty much every live or every bracket final, and if we could do it where it's live, would be ideal. But if we have to do it as Rex, I promise I will cast every final. I'm sure there'll be much larger streamers casting the pro final, but for all the low elo 5 viewers out there watching me, if you make it to the finals and no one else will cast it, I will definitely cast it. Unless you're playing against me, then I might have to arrange a different caster. And we all know admins always make the finals, so.
Rigged.
Although, hey, me and Plotter signed up for a different tourney, and we both made it to the knockout stage. So we're like, we both need to meet in the finals, so we're vindicated that we don't just make it to the finals of our own tournaments.
Well, and then just as a quick note, I'd add as a former Super Draft player that it does help managing the time zones to get on scheduling if you find you and your opponent are far apart.
Yes, but this is why round robin should be easier than other super drafts that have been Swiss stage, because you can play your games in any order.
Well, that's right. Yeah, well, that helps a lot. It helps a lot.
So yeah, you got a little more flexibility. But I think in our tournaments we got a little more player range than other tournaments. A lot of other tournaments are pretty much only Europeans, but there are definitely a lot of North Americans, Australians, South Americans in our tournaments, so could have anyone in your group. So we do have prizes in the Super Draft. Unfortunately, no pizza prizes. Our pizza fund has run dry. So no pizza prizes for the lower divisions unless we get a very generous benefactor that wants us to spend it on pizzas, but we're not spending any of this money on pizzas. We got an $814 here for the top bracket only, which we have not had anyone specify the specific allotment for their prize money, so I had to determine all of it. We are nearly at 1,000. Would be sick to get to 1,000. Would be sick. No pressure
awesome.
by anybody. And 800 is still pretty much double, almost double of what reverse pick was, and we still got a ton of pros signing up for this one. So, you know, not mad at all about this. Honestly, 800, 1,000 was a pretty lofty goal. But we have almost got there. You could see the prize split right here for the if you're in the top group. 40% first place, 30% second place, and 15% for third and fourth place. There will not be a third and fourth place match, so you'll just each get 15%. But if you do want, I know there have been some people that have said they want to get a prize pool going for 5th to 8th place. If you want specific prizes for specific placement finishes, you can't just give a prize though to like 10th place. But if you do want to like put in $50 and have us split it between 5th to 8th or 5th to 16th or whatever, you could just donate and then DM me and we can sort that out. Okay, the Civ draft we're gonna skip over for now unless there's someone in here that has a specific question about the Civ draft, because we'll be going over one of the old super drafts so we have a full example, not just a 6-player example here. The big thing here is you need to submit your ranks by March the 8th to the designated admin, which is listed here. It is myself. If you're over 2K between 1700 and 1999, you submit to next lever. 1400 to 1699, you submit to Huggy. 1100 to 1399, submit to Plotter Ghost, and below 1099, submit it to Blue Player 10.
All right. Yeah.
Yes. Important.
When you're staring at a demigod, what can I say except
Luigi!
Yo, Blitzermania!
We've got the lazy people out here wanting us to read the handbook for them. Appreciate it. Brick Lasagna indeed. Although he recently changed his Discord name to Rogan, so surprised he's not saying Rogan in chat now. So important things about the Civ ranking. If you don't own all the DLC civs, no problem. I don't even own all the DLC civs. So just let the admin know and we will accommodate you in the draft. We would never force you to buy a civilization because you get them drafted. Unless we get sponsored by Microsoft and they want us to do that to sell more DLCs. If you're listening, Microsoft.
Yes, please donate DLCs. That would be fantastic.
But until then, if you don't have a DLC, just let us know. We'll make sure that you don't get it. The other thing is for the civs you do get, so you're only getting 6 civs this time.
Oh, 6
instead of 7.
Oh.
Well, 6. It's because then we worked out the math. 6 times 15 is equal to 45 times 2.
Oh, that makes sense.
So,
okay.
But there are best of 7 sets. How it works in best of 7 sets with only 6 civs, you will be allowed to reuse 1 civ 1 time at any time in the set. So you don't have to save it for game 7. Let's say you want to use the same civ back-to-back games 1 and 2, you can definitely do that. But then games 3 through 7, you would have to use one of your different ones. So you could double up once anytime in the set, but only one time.
So I love the Persians, so I could play, if I got to the finals, I could play Persians 1, Persians 2, and then the rest of my set.
Exactly. So you might be handicapping yourself if it goes all the way to 7, but yeah, if you do have a really strong civ you want to use and make sure you get them in twice, you could definitely do that. But then your opponent might be able to mind game you if they know which civs you have left with what civs they have left. Like, let's say you double up Persians, it goes to game 7, your opponent used each of their 6 civs once, they know which civ you have left and they could pick from any of their 6 civs.
Oh, that's sneaky.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. It adds a lot of mind games to not only the draft but also the selecting of the civs. And there's also 2 rounds of best of 7 now. It's not just one. Semifinals and finals are both best of 7. So
I like that. I like that a lot.
Little wrinkle this time. No trading this time. Super draft trading was too complicated. No trades this time.
So no between player civs.
No trades between the players. That's right. That was too complicated to work out last time. People were confused about it and didn't really work out too well. So no trades this time. Some other basic rules. If you're watching this, you've probably already signed up correctly. If you are somehow watching this and think you've signed up but have not, you got to do it in our Discord. If you signed up not in our Discord, I don't know where you would have signed up, but that's not the right place. Everyone needs to have played 10 games of ranked in the last month so that we can accurately seed you. We may make some exceptions. They will not be very many exceptions, so please just play 10 games. If you signed up a month ago and played 10 games a month before you signed up, that's fine.
Okay.
So we're pretty lenient, but we can't have people that haven't played ranked in 6 months and then seed them and then they win every game in their division because they've been playing tournaments for the last 6 months. That's not really fun for anybody. Admins, players, or it's only fun for that person if they, I guess, like winning but don't really want a challenge. What's the ELO range of the lowest bracket? I'll go over the sign-up list after we do the handbook reading, so you can see what the range is. You got to stick around, Apostate.
Oh yes, Apostate, you sure do.
Tease, you got to stick around.
Do.
And I can run 3 ads while you're watching.
What?
Professional Twitch streamer.
Well, hey, Apostate, thank you for the Prime right there. Is that what that means?
I think he just has Twitch Prime, but I don't think he's used it on me. Or maybe he has. I don't know. I'm clearly a professional Twitch streamer. I should know what all these means. Admin rank me. Let's go.
I love it.
So, here are the maps. We will be going over these maps in the in-game at some point of the stream, so we will do a detailed read. Some people have been complaining about Team Islands, which, you know, fair. You got some reasonable complaints, but we're not changing it because we have already said it, and we had like 80 people signed up thinking it was Team Islands. So, Team Islands is in, Budapest 2TC Start is in, New England custom map. I can't remember which tournament it made it in. I will look this up, so I props the map creator. Very interesting map. Bedouins classic old school map. Z-Wall. I can't remember who made this either, but it's been in several high elo tournaments. I got to assume it was inspired by us putting in reverse pick. Great closed map. Pretty much the only closed map I like. And it's so much better than you'll see it in Titans League because it's played on standard victory here, which makes it so much better, I think. You can get players like the legend Dan MT who beat actual legit professional players with relic victories. Yeah, he beat Nilly with the relic victory on Z-Wall. Sick stuff. Forced Nilly into retirement.
Oh my lord.
We also have Border Dispute, which if you saw last weekend in the SuperDr4ft show match between Matzi and King Boo, I think the VOD's still up on my channel. So how it works is there's 4 boars in between the TCs. King Boo lured all 4 boars at the same time with the same villager. Got them all under his TC. And then Matsu's like, well, I got no food. Guess I better TC drop you. And TC dropped King Boo. And you could go watch what happened at the end on my stream. It was a great game. It was very funny.
Wow.
Excellent game. Excellent game. And then Painted Desert Witch is our Arabia Light map. So there's one open land map for you open land map enjoyers. The map draft, I have not made it yet, but I will make it on AoE 2 Captain's Mode. Best of 3s will be host ban. You'll get a ban. The biggest thing will be you will get a ban before any picks. So let's just say you hate Team Islands. You can always be sure that you'll be able to ban Team Islands, at least in the best of 3s and best of 5s. Best of 7, there's only 7 maps, so can't do it there. But best of 3s and best of 5s, you could really plan your Civ drafts. Let's just say, hypothetically, you hated Team Islands. You could put Italians, Armenians, Dravidians, Vikings, all of your bottom tier, if you want to just disregard one of the maps, let's say, hypothetically.
So just to recap that, best of 3s, best of 5s, ban first, best of 7, pick.
Well, no. So best of 7 works a little different. So best of 3s is ban, and then each player picks, and then you ban again, and then whatever map is left is game 1. Best of 5, it's the same except there's no last ban. It's just 2 picks each, and then the last map is game 1. Best of 7 is the higher seed gets to pick game 1 map, and then after that it is loser picks.
Oh, okay. I was a little confused on that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I will also say it is loser picks for the best of 3s and best of 5s as well, and you can pick from either person's home map. So let's just say you're in the best of 3, you lose game 1, but you would prefer to play your opponent's home map because they picked it first, and you didn't get a chance to pick it, you could pick to play their home map. So.
Okay. That checks out. That makes sense. Thank you.
I don't think it says that here. I will make sure to put that in the map draft so it is clear for anyone that actually reads the handbook, which I think is nobody because we have the entirety of SuperDr4ft watching this stream right now.
I would just say that last sentence, just that their opponent,
I will add it into this. This
Perfect.
is good for me too, proofreading before the tournament starts.
Well, I read and I'm like, oh my gosh. I totally
Yeah, it is
forgot.
a
about it.
lot of information, but we got to be thorough so we don't have people saying, "Hey, this thing happened in my
Absolutely.
set. What happens?" Then we're like, It's not in the handbook. Guess we got to make it
Well,
up."
we just want everybody to have fun,
Yes,
So
yes. Okay, so for the brackets, it's gonna be a little different than previous super drafts that have been Swiss stage mostly. This time it will be a round robin. Each division will have 15 players. Uh, so we'll divide each of those divisions into groups, 3 groups each. So you'll have 3 groups of 5 in your 15-person division. They'll be seeded exactly like this. So Group 1 will have seeds 1, 6, 7, 12, and 13. Group 2 will have 2, 5, 8, 11, 14. And Group 3 will have 3, 4, 9, 10, and 15. And then you will play a round robin between those players in your groups. So that's
okay.
how it is a 4-round round robin because there's 5 people in your group. The advancement to the knockout stage will be the winners of each group, and then the next best 5 seeded players, as determined by these tiebreakers of set wins, head-to-head result is second, then game win-loss difference. So why head-to-head result is second is, let's say the 2 players fighting for 8th and 9th we're in the same group, it's whoever won between them will advance, regardless of what their game win-loss record is. But if you are not in the same group, so someone from group 1 and group 3 that are fighting for 8 and 9, it'll be obviously skip head-to-head because they didn't play.
Okay.
If the players are still tied, they will play a 1-game tiebreaker match, which will be determined. I will have a map draft for that as well. It'll be ban until there's only 1 map left. So nobody will have a real advantage in the best of 1 tiebreaker match. Hoping there's not too many of those, but we thought there's not really any other in-game tiebreakers we could really use that are fair. So hopefully we won't have many of them, although it would be pretty hype and exciting if we did.
Oh,
It just might
best
add
of
some
ones.
extra time to the
I
tournament.
love best of ones. I think those are great. Great tiebreakers.
Yeah, just imagine Hera and Tato tied for 8th and 9th because they
You
both
know,
decided to not practice, and it's a best of 1. That'd be hype entertainment.
yeah, I just have a feeling that it would be epic, and that Tato is probably already gaming his draft. Trying to get one over.
Yes. So,
So,
other general rules. These are all standard in all the practice squad tournaments. Please don't be a dickhead. We've not had to ban many people from the squad or from doing the tournaments because everyone's generally very nice and accommodating. So please do that. Um, if there's an update, which I'm sure there will be because there always is, we always use the latest patch. Even if it introduces major balance changes that could drastically affect people's Civ drafts, it is way too complicated to tell people how to backdate. For everybody to backdate their game every time they're playing a set is way too complicated. So if there's a big patch, we just roll with it. Please try to work it out with your opponent for a fair time in between you. Don't just say, hey, I can only play between 7 and 10 p.m. my time 3 days out of the week, and it's 3 days where your opponent would reasonably be thought to be sleeping because it's between 3 and 6 a.m. So please try to be at least a little flexible. And we always reserve the right to give an admin loss if you have a very poor schedule and just can't play your opponent. So yeah, just try to be flexible. So restarts, hopefully we don't have many of these, but you do got to call it before 4-game in-minute games, unless there's something like majorly bugged with your map that you just don't realize till later on in the map. Like, I don't know, you realize minute 15 of your game that your islands are connected on team islands or something like really out there like that. Obviously in that case you can call a re later. if you do call a re on something like you're missing a gold, but you haven't scouted everything, and you call a re, and it turns out you just didn't scout properly, you get an admin loss for that. So please don't just be going calling re's because you don't think you have a resource when you might have just not scouted for it. So you got to be very sure, because we can't have admins around at all times to check games and stuff. So that's how that works. Obviously, don't cheat. Don't stream snipe. Don't talk with anyone watching the games. Yeah, if you want to cast, I've provided. Please, if you can, provide a link to the Discord. Would appreciate it. No, that's not always possible. At least, please put the logo that I've included in here. I can color swap the logo too if you'd like. If it's better for your aesthetic. So just let me know about that. Incorrect Civ usage. This could happen. If a player uses Civ they did not have in their draft or have already used a maximum amount of times in the set, the opponent can call a restart. They have to do it in the first 10 minutes of the game, and then they will get to pick the opponent's Civ from any of the Civs in the game, whether they're in the opponent's draft or not. But they have to use a Civ in their draft still. So they don't get free pick for themselves, they get free pick for their opponent, and they have to use a Civ they have in their draft, and it has to be on the same map they played on.
Okay.
Lobby settings, pretty standard. Spec delay, don't really care how long the spec delay is. It says 3 minutes. If you make it 2 minutes, don't tell anyone I said it's okay if it's 2 minutes. Just make sure it's not 0. And also, please don't make it whatever the max is, like 20, because if there are spectators, that's just annoying. So yeah, 2 to 5 minutes spec delay. All this game setting stuff, standard. The only thing that might be different from other tournaments people may have played in is standard victory. Very important. We love seeing relic victories and wonder victories, especially at the very top level. This is not very common and can definitely create some epic games. Here are the streamer rules. Here are the logos. Yeah, if you want me to color swap these for your stream or whatever, so it fits better. You can use either logo, doesn't matter to us. Just please put this somewhere on your stream. Recording and uploading games also might be slightly different to other tournaments out there. The biggest thing is right here, a confirmation that you submitted the Google form for your division. We will have Google Forms for every division. That makes it so we can get this. We have made it so the Google form that you submit with the results automatically updates a standings page, so the admins no longer have to do it manually. It's awesome.
I love that.
So yeah, hopefully this catches on with other low elo tournaments, because yeah, it helps the admins so much if we don't have to like do this and use a third-party site. If we could just do it all on one page, it's great.
I love that as a player, because sometimes, for example, in 7Ps, you get some tight relegation delegation sort of matches, and it's fun to see it as you complete a set and see where you are in real time. I love that. Great work.
Yes. Does anyone in the chat have any questions? Does Graham have anything we should highlight again in the handbook?
Well, I mean, just as a player, like, I'd just say it is very important, because I have played in a few other Discords, that you just kind of schedule ahead, because we have all 24 time zones basically in this Discord, and it just helps if you can coordinate on weekends or times off, just to get that knocked out, because it's so much fun when everybody participates. And then, Zark, the only other thing that I felt super important was, what are we going to look at the draft? We're going to look at the maps.
Yes,
what are you
so
feeling?
we will do the drafts, and or actually before we do the No, we'll do the drafts next. We'll do the drafts next. Yo, thanks, Apostic. Actually, no. Before we do the drafts, we will do I'll go over the signups right now.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We'll do the signups. Thanks, Apostic. Yeah, worked pretty hard on the logo, hoping that we're gonna have some nice overlays. You may have seen some of the previewed overlays on the Showmatch stream. They'll be the overlays are as good as my technical abilities, but I think they have come out pretty nice. So, okay, so here are the signups thus far. Also, apologies to everyone, it's in light mode. I don't know how to make Google Drive not light mode, so sorry to your eyes. Happy the Andy's already fast asleep though, so it's okay for him. So yeah, top division right now, this is all tentative because we're gonna rerun everybody's elo right before we do it, so this is not finalized. Also, there could be many people that sign up between now and the sign up deadline, and their current elo was their elo when they signed up. So not finalized, but in the top bracket we have Hera, ACCM running, Mihai, Tato, Dark Draken, Margu, Freakin' Andy, Stu, also known as Z40, Cosmonaut, RMQ the Hater, Salted Pepper Rays, and Lewis. So we got some big names in the top group, namely the #1 player in the world that's won, like 6 S-tier tournaments in a row. And then also pretty much who everyone would say is the #3 player in the world. And then ACCM probably 6 or 7, so 3 top 10 players, pretty sick. And another Hidden Cup player in Mihai, and a NAC qualified player in Andy, and Margugu Stay Humble. Mr. Stay Humble himself is signed up. So yeah, top bracket will be sick. Unfortunately, this means almost certainly King Boo is not in the top bracket. Rip to King Boo, the 2K plus player from the very start. Once was like 400 or 500 elo higher than the second highest sign up. Has now been relegated to Group 2.
Oh, Boo.
Now, just for Apostic, we'll head down to the bottom. You can see we're already at 95 signups, almost in the triple digits. But the bottom 15 would be these 15. So the lowest we have right now is 930, so you wouldn't be at the bottom, Apostic, and there are several people from 7P's group 6 here, including the co-caster right now, Graham Beasy, I believe Pride, Tom, and Yoji Mitsu, aka Brick Lasagna, aka Rogan. I believe they were all in the lowest division of 7Ps. Or maybe Yoji was. Maybe he was one up.
Yoji was one, I believe.
One above.
One up. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, and then you also have Spirit of the Universe, who was in 7Ps, Mad Bun, Practice Squad Regular, and Practice Squad Regular and 7P's Regular, my favorite player from 7P Season 4, Duhawk Natria, is currently in the bottom group. Watch out for Duhawk. This guy's got mad strats.
I'm scared of Duhawk. I've watched enough of his games.
So you want Apostic to sign up so Duhawk is bumped up a division.
Yeah. I asked Apostic yesterday to sign up, so Apostic, please sign up.
Yes. You could see though, we got pretty tight groups. Like if I take the next 15 here, here it's 1881 to 1301, so that's 120 elo. Super tight. This one would be 1322 to 1500, so a little greater, but that's still only 180. So yeah, very tight right now. We got a lot of signups. I would say the one range we are lacking a little bit is this one right here, like 1600 to 1800. We only have, what's that, 6 players signed up. So if you do know someone, or 7 I guess, if you do know someone in that 16 to 1800 range, would appreciate them, tell them to maybe sign up. help us fill that out a little bit. But everywhere else is looking really nice. And even group bracket 2. Bracket 2 is almost going to be it's like 1900 to 2100, so it's going to be very tight there.
2 is stacked.
Well.
2 is stacked. Yeah. I love it.
Nice. So yeah, thanks everyone for signing up, and yeah, tell your friends to join in. We'll be a great time.
we need to talk because I want to sponsor a Group 2 prize. I'm not sure yet, but I think we should put that in
a Group 2 prize. Well,
yeah, let's talk later.
We can maybe work that out. Although the problem with that is then we'll have the bottom end of Group 1 be sad that they're not in Group 2.
Well, let's figure it out later.
We could work something out. So maybe Group 2 will have a prize. Okay. Now we're gonna go into one of the old drafts, so people can have a little more of an idea of how the drafts actually go. Is it in here? Okay, I have got the old draft. Okay, so if people are confused how the drafts work, this was from SuperDr4ft, the last one.
Okay.
So you could see everybody submitted their civ list here. Yeah. Submitting the civ list, this part's not that important, but you can see this is how we arrange them all. Your name and then your rankings here. Then we import them into, I don't know how the technical formula works. Plotter has completely automated all of this, so I don't have to do it by hand anymore. For the first 2 super drafts, I was doing it by hand, which was kind of a mess. But yeah, Plotter has managed to completely automate this, which is sick. And yeah, this is every player in Group 1's rankings. So you could see everybody has their rankings here. And how the picker will work is, so Arg was picking first, so he got his first pick of Khmer. Guacamo was second. Khmer were not picked. I can't remember how many times the Civ was picked in SuperDr4ft. I think they were picked 3 times. So there'd be 3 copies of Khmer, 3 copies of Malians, etc. So, looks like everybody here got their top-ranked Civ. And it goes Arg, Guacamo, Kingwu, etc. this way down the line. Then in round 2, it reverses order. So Breakfast would have picked Portuguese first, and then back down this way. And then back down this way. Now the first Civ that got picked 3 times here, I believe was... if you can spot it, anybody in chat or Graham. What is the first Civ that got picked 3 times here?
It wasn't the Mayans, was it?
Might be. There's 1 Mayans, 2 Mayans. Where's the 3rd Mayans? Anyways, once a Civ gets picked 3 times, you get them crossed off here. And then you go to your next highest ranked. So let's just say hypothetically it was Mayans that was 3rd picked, and it was like round 4. And let's say it was Pete. Well, Mayans are way down on his list. That's a bad example. Let's just say it was King Boo, and Mayans were already gone, and they're crossed off. So then we'd skip Mayans and go down to Britons, etc. And then we'll go through this for the whole draft. Now, in SuperDr4ft, there are 6 rounds, 15 players, which is 90 picks total. There are 45 civs, so each civ copied twice, is 45. So you in the last round here, like when they were picking Burmese, probably 35 civs were off the board, picked 3 times. In the next one, by the time we get to the last round, there'll probably only be like 15 civs left max. So it'll get really tight. There will almost certainly be people that get their last ranked civ. I am certain of that. So yeah, I would recommend some basic strategy. If there are also, the order is totally randomized, not based on seeding at all.
Okay, that's good to know.
So yeah, it's
Just
not seed
completely
one
random.
gets first pick. It's totally randomized. So some basic strategy. If you think a civ is going to be super popular, even if you don't like them that much, you might want to rank them high. Also, take all this strategy with a grain of salt. If you think you can big brain the draft better than me, go for it. Another thing, if you want one of the lower ranked civs, still rank them pretty high. Just because other people have them ranked low, if you have them ranked at like, let's say you really like playing as the Celts, but you know nobody else likes the Celts, so you're like, maybe I don't have to rank them that high and I'll still get them. If you rank them like 25th, even if everyone else has them ranked 45th, you might get 6 civs that you have ranked above the Celts. So it's not only relative to other people where you gotta worry about where you rank the civs, it's you need to make sure that you're gonna actually get the civ and you don't have 6 civs above here that you're gonna get first. So if there's a civ you really want, to be safe, I would put them in the top 6 to ensure you get them. Would you have any other tips for the people that might be new to Super Draft and be a little confused about the draft ranking?
You know, the only thing I would say, and this is my gaming of it, just have at least one water civ high up there if you feel like you're going to go far. But I think that's part of the fun of Super Draft is that
it is. That is a good point. I would probably not rank a bunch of the same civs close together to be like, I want to get one of Lithuanians, Poles, or Magyars because they're all good knight land civs. Well, if you rank them all 8, 9, 10, thinking you'll get one of them, well, it's not a live draft, so you can't be like, I got Lithuanians, now I can adjust my draft mid-draft like you could in a fantasy football draft.
nope,
So you
can't do
kind of
that.
probably, that is a good point. You probably want to space out the similar civs just to cover your butt. You know, you might get unlucky and get 2 of those civs, but you're way more likely to get them if you have them ranked back to back, for sure.
So what I big brained is I look at this civ list and I'm like, man, there's so many I like, so many I don't like. I just went through and picked starting from the first, from Age of Kings, Age of Conquerors, and just went through all the DLCs and picked one from each DLC
Well,
as my
hey,
first.
nice. You can also see here, some people decided to leave their Civ ranking until the very end and decided, you know what? Let's just submit an alphabetical Civ list, which,
Oh,
if
that's
you
fun
do really
too.
want to do that, you could be my guest. I would not say that is optimal.
Oh, that's but that could be a fun way to play too. But
It
it's
could
way
be.
more
It
fun
could
that
be. Yeah, it's
you
up to
miss
you.
out.
It's
You
up.
miss out
Yeah,
if you don't pick.
it is up to you how you want to play it.
Hmm.
And during the draft, so the draft reveal will be Sunday morning my time, evening European time, middle of the night for Australians. Sorry, Australians. We will also provide this document to everybody, so you'll be able to see all the lists. You'll see if we make any errors, please let us know ASAP. Uh, we haven't had any errors with the automated formula so far. Fingers crossed it stays like that, but if we do, please tell us so we can fix it as soon as possible. But you'll have access to all of this, all the lists, and all the drafts and all the stats. So we'll have the Civ's average rating by each group, so you could see the pros really like Malians, Portuguese, Lithuanians, Mongols last time, but the bottom group really like Britons, Franks, Celts, and Khmer, so it's like totally different depending on the ELO, which is interesting too. So yeah, that is the draft. Any questions about the draft from the viewers? Mostly probably North American viewers that might be familiar with, fantasy football, baseball, hockey, golf, NASCAR, WNBA, that might be familiar with something like this. This will mostly be for the VOD watchers.
When you're staring at a demigod, what can I say except
Still doesn't get it.
Number one.
Oh no.
Well, thanks for the subscription, Ploof. I'm sorry you don't get it. You are European though, so makes sense that you're less likely to get it. Just kidding. Have they not had a fantasy hockey draft at your office since you've been here? Or have you just not been invited? What's hockey?
What's hockey?
Good one. Do you have any specific questions as to how what don't you get? Or are you just joking? Are you just joshing with us that you don't get it? You are in group 1 right now, so you better get it. And I haven't got your Civ list yet. Oh, you've never tried getting it? Fair. Well, you're participating this time, so maybe it's the time you try to get it. Seed number
Alphabetical draft
8.
confirmed.
Or maybe you should try getting it so you can translate it to French to all of our French pros in the top group.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, that's the draft. If anyone has any questions about the draft after you're watching the VOD or the YouTube video, just post them in the Discord and someone will be able to answer it. Okay, now the next thing I want to show before we go into the maps is I will show the stats sheet we will have for
Oh,
this
that's gonna be
one.
fun.
This was made by new admin John Perkins. What a legend. Disregard the submissions here. These were all test submissions, so we made sure it worked. These games have not been played. So yeah, how it works is I'll do a test submission with everyone right now. This is not live, by the way, so you won't be able to submit one of these yourself. But how the form works, oops, this is not the form I want. I want to do the form. I don't want to edit the form. Preview, here we go. Okay, so this is how it's going to look. We will have each player listed here. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. Just decide before the set, probably, so you don't spoil it to the casters. Whoever you are, let's just say. We got Margugu in chat. Margugu is filling out this form. Who's your opponent? This is also not up to date, obviously, because King Boo's still in the top bracket. But let's just say we were playing King Boo. So you fill out who you are, who your opponent was. You pick which map you played in game 1. Let's just say we played Bedouins. You picked what civ you played in game 1. Let's say we played as the Magyars. What civ did my opponent pick in game 1? They probably picked the Persians. Sure. Who won game 1? You indicate who won game 1 or game 1. Then you do the same thing for game 2, which we'll say is on Painted Desert, which was Byzantines versus Koreans. And let's just say my opponent won game 2. Then, if you have played 7Ps, you'll never have come across this question because this is a best of 3 instead of a play all 2. Was game 3 played? If you click yes, it goes on to another section, which is the same as the first 2, where you just pick what map you played, civ, and then who won. If you hit no, you won't see this page. So then we submit it. The submission goes into the stat sheet here, which you could see in this line. And then we got a bunch of formulas here that you don't need to worry about. And then it goes on to this fancy page, which is new for SuperDraft 4, thanks to John Perkins. What a legend. Look at how fancy this is. So,
Slick.
whatever the matchup was, I don't think Margugu versus King Boo, they're in the same group. We picked the right one. So the one we just submitted will go here. And it'll show what Civ's Margugu played. It'll show what Civ's King Boo played. It'll show what map these Civs were played on. And then it'll automatically update the standings here. Yo, Matsy, welcome in. Good morning, mate. Unfortunate that you haven't signed up yet, but also you probably won't be in Division 1, which is sad. But you missed the announcement that there may be a prize for Division 2. Yeah, this is unofficial, Matsy. We're just showing off you missed the section where we went over the players. We are just showing off how the new standings page works. And yeah, as you can see then, it'll update the standings. King Boo has unfortunately somehow lost 2 sets with with our test results. King Boo catching strays even if he's not in Group 1. And yeah, we'll have all the players listed. Somehow he got it to scrape their country from AoE2 Insights and put it on here, which is a coding feat beyond my skill level. So you could see these were the players when we did the first round of this. These are not the players anymore. But yeah, it's going to be fully automated, and we'll have this for every bracket where you'll be able to see the civs. We'll also still have the civ stats page, then the map stats page like we had in 7Ps.
Oh, that's
That
so cool.
I will say, the tiebreakers may not work exactly as intended, just because we have to amalgamate the groups before the knockout stage. So do not take the standings necessarily as completely at 100% accurate. We will manually do the tiebreakers and everything
Okay.
at the
Okay.
end. We think it's probably right, but also really hard to know when we haven't done like a we haven't filled in every single matchup, which would just be really time consuming. So we're just going to hope it works and then fix it if it does not work, considering none of us are paid. All right. Does anyone have any questions about the handbook, about the signups? Here you go, Matsy, just for you. Here's the top group signup. Currently, unofficially, this is what the top group is looking like. If anyone has any questions or anything, pop them in the chat right now. But if not, we will do the last part of our stream, which is reviewing the maps in-game. So I will leave this up for now while I load up the game and load up the maps. Doesn't sound like there's any questions here. Thanks for all the subs though tonight, everyone. I guess maybe I should get a new career path. Audiobook
Wow.
narrator. I put Happy the Andy right to sleep,
I
so.
was just gonna say.
Hey, I do talk on the phone for a living, so similar. You get that phone voice out.
Oh, I don't see any. Oh yeah, Brick. What do you got? What's your question?
Yoji has a question. I swear to God, if it's brick lasagna. Oh my God.
B. Brogan? Oh, he's got me waiting on pins and needles.
Is this a real question? Oh, I
Ah!
knew it. I knew it. You can't fool me this time. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 700 times, shame on you.
That's too good.
All right. So since we have no more questions right now, I am going to run an advertisement break, take a quick 2-minute break, and then we will be back with the map overview with Graham in game. So I will be right back, everyone. Enjoy your advertisement and or watching the Civ um, drawing PowerPoint. Alright, I am back, and yo, thanks for the gift again, Graham. Gifting it
Well,
to
yeah.
SuperDr4 supporter, the beekeeper.
Well, hell yeah. I
Here.
saw that and I was like, gotta do that too. I really want us to get to that Cameo cosplay though. I've been dying for
Hey,
that.
I gotta think. During the SuperDr4 draft, we might get a lot of followers. We might get close to the Cameo cosplay.
I haven't forgotten about that. I think
I
that'd be a
haven't
lot
either.
of
It's on
fun.
the stream every stream. It's been on there for like 8 months, I think.
Well, I think we're gonna close the gap. We'll close
I
the
I
gap.
think I think that's probably a good call too. What's very funny is I have one professional Age of Empires player that follows me. And it's not even one that's signed up for Super Draft. Must have been a misclick. Or he got hacked. I'm so confused why Sato follows me on here, but he's not even in the practice squad. He's not signed up for Super Draft. It's very bizarre. And he followed me at like 4 a.m. France time. It was the strangest thing ever. I was so confused.
Well, that's still fun though.
It
That's a
was
lot of fun.
fun. It was just confusing, you know? Then I went to his stream and he's like, "What? I don't even know who you are." I'm like, "Okay, okay, whatever you say." All right, last part of the stream slash video slash VOD. Hopefully, I can get this uploaded on YouTube correctly. Is we'll do the map review. So, if you are new to downloading maps in Age of Empires, all you gotta do, go to the mod center. I already have it installed, but to find the SuperDraft mod, you just search up SuperDr4ft.
It's
Be
super
right
important
here.
to hit that browse mods tab though.
Yes, you have to hit
That
browse
has
mods.
yes.
Type in SuperDraft. It'll pop up right here. Since I have it installed already, it has a check mark, but there'll be a button here that says download or whatever. You just click that. It's this one with this logo. Author Huggy G. Map. Here are all the people that made the maps. Props to Papaya for the Bedouin script. Border Dispute made by The Prophet. New England made by Evelyn. And Painted Desert made by Green Eggs. Props to y'all. Budapest and Team Islands are the base game maps. So then you can see I have too many mods here. To enable your mod, just click the checkbox here. And then it'll be in your game. Now, the maps. We are just going to use them in the, oops, not load game, in the editor. Here. And random map. Tiny size. And we want to see SuperDr4. So we'll start with Bedouins. Now, Bedouins is slightly different than previous Bedouins we used, or that you may have seen. It is still Nomad Start, but you can see the pawns and the tree. The pawns are perfectly symmetrical. The pawns are the same in every game.
Okay. Okay.
Before, we've had ones that have various size. That While that might be a little more fun and a little more traditional, this one is a little fair because all the pawns same size, same amount of fish. Whichever pawn you TC on, you don't have an edge over your opponent. Then the tree lines are also pretty standard. They're more varied than the fish, and then obviously the gold spawns, the berry spawns, the rhino spawns are all kind of random. But yeah, this is Bedouins. What would you say? What civs do you think are going to dominate on Bedouins, Graham?
Hmm. I
Take into
I think
mind,
Cav.
Graham is around what, 1050, and I'm
Oh, you're
around
generous.
and I'm
So in
around 1250 to 1300 right now. So take all our advice with a grain of salt.
my elo in the last 4 weeks has been mostly on the upper end, but from 1050 to 740.
Okay, okay. So yeah, just take our
Oh,
advice with a grain of salt.
yes.
But we do watch a lot of age. So what civs
Personally, I want
do you think are going to
cavalry,
dominate here?
cavalry and camels. I want camels, and I really like the African DLC civs here. Like, I might pick Malians, Ethiopians.
Okay, interesting. Now in the show match, we did see Romans do pretty well
Ooh,
here. I would say you can close it off pretty well and go for FC. So yeah, good FC civs like maybe Bohemians, Portuguese, um, maybe even Celts, like for a little Huang rush, could be pretty reasonable. Because I don't think the games will go on that long, but you could reasonably wall in, and the fish have so much food on them. Like you wall in 3 of these ponds, you are cruising to get to the Castle Age.
that's true. That is true.
Also, civs with food and gold unique units that are really powerful. A little easier to get into them. Usually on like arena style maps, you want to be going for the castle drops with the like Portuguese Bohemians, um, strong unique units that are gold and wood. But with so much food on this map, easily can get into like conks, janissaries, showtel warriors, um, get into those very easily. If someone thinks they can get into Persian war elephants here, I would love to see it.
I'm kind of got the gears turning now on that. That sounds really fun.
But yeah, that is Bedouins. Any comments on Bedouins from the chat before I go to border dispute? Alright, so border dispute. This was the epic match we had between Boo and Matsi in the show match. It is a very tight. It's like Arabia, except your TCs are pretty much next to each other. TC's very close to each other. It'll always spawn like this with 4 boars right in between the TCs, so you might want to take those boars ASAP. And then the deer always spawn very close to your TC, so civs like Mongols that really benefit from that early hunt or Goths could be really strong here. Also, civs that are good at taking boars very quickly, like Berbers, because of the faster villagers, also could be reasonable picks here. But yeah, this map will be chaotic. It'll be feudal heavy, I assume. You always have golds in between the TCs, so you could see here there's always a set of gold forward. So you're never having those double safe golds. You always have the golds forward. What civs you looking at here, Cram, as super strong on Buddha Dispute?
You know, I've played this where I've really leaned into feudal civs that really have a benefit to the feudal, like Bulgarians. I've tried to to do it that way, but I think that this map surprisingly can be pretty boomy because you can really hide the further back you go. If you can survive that initial craziness, um, I I have oh my gosh, I don't even know how to describe this. Um, I picked around this map. So, I mean, you highlighted a few of the civs, aka the Berbers, that I wanted to get to. I just think this is more eco than not. I get tripped up by the TCs so close,
Yeah,
but I think it's bigger than it is.
yeah, you do have a lot of room in the back. I think at pro level it's going to be heavy feudal, but yeah, below 1600 you definitely could probably get away with, if you, especially if you get like 3 boars, with not really pressuring that much because you'll have such an eco lead and taking it to the late game. I do wonder if this map could be the map we see the you putting Sicilian Rush work. Like Donjon Rush around, and then you get the Castle Age, and you have those
Hmm.
sergeants with the instant upgrade. And
Oh,
the
that's
distance is
oppressive.
not too far.
Yeah.
I will say some of the lists I've gotten have had Sicilians ranked kind of low. I think Sicilians might be underrated on this map. Slightly. Also, as you may have seen last weekend, you could definitely douche on this map. You could TC drop on this map. Your distance to walk is very short, and you know exactly where your opponent's TC is guaranteed. So maybe we'll see a lot of TC dropping on this map too.
Hmm. I didn't think about the TC drop here, but that does make sense.
Yeah, Budapest is next, and yeah, Matzi TC dropped to the Bohemians last week, so you don't even need to have a good Civ to TC drop with, and it works. Matzi is maybe the best TC dropper in the game right now. I haven't seen Rubenstock play recently. Anyways, on to Budapest. Another map you don't see in pro tournaments very often. And a map I'm not even sure which civs are the best civs on this map. We tried to pick 7 maps where there's 7 different meta strategies, so people had to actually really think about which civs they wanted high up, and probably couldn't pick one civ that's like the best civ on 3 of the maps. So you have Budapest, you have the 2 TC start, you have the pretty thick wood lines, so you can wall up pretty easily, and then you also have these pawns. Now, are the pawns bait? Should you actually go for fishing ships early when you have 2 TCs to produce out of? I don't know, but one
That
Zolotl has claimed to have the perfect strategy on Budapest, and he knows exactly how to get it done on Budapest. So watch out if you're in a group with Zolotl. As for the rest of us plebs, I honestly have no idea how to play Budapest. I probably will be banning it first. Most likely, it's definitely the map I am least confident in personally. Do you got any thoughts on Budapest?
well, I'm really leaning into the fact that it's non-standard that the 2 TC start because that makes because you can collect enough food to hit the feudal, but you won't have enough eco to do anything with that. It was somebody who stayed in and made an extra 10 villagers because he had two TCs, or he or she had two TCs to make that happen. I can see one dock, because you could get a dock producing really fast, but it's also chokeable. This is
Yeah,
one that confuses
I
me too.
this I will say, now that you're saying about getting a dock up really fast, I do think there could be some people that maybe put in the time and come up with like a really optimized build order where they have both TCs moving, they get the docks producing, and they are just absolutely flying with like 60, 70 eco units super fast and can get into like a huge Night Spamming Castle Age or a really fast Imperial Age. Like, let's just like if you have like a civ like Bengalis and you can get into Elephant Archers at a reasonable time, like that could be game over for your opponent. So yeah, I think this map of all the maps might be the one where people could pay off the time by doing some testing, doing some research of their own. Um, Maybe one of the pros out here will put together a guide for a perfect build order for this map. But I think this is the one that you could probably, if you, especially with Super Draft, because a lot of tournaments you don't actually know which civs you're necessarily going to get each round, and let's just say you come up with a brilliant strategy. Let's just say as the Bengalis, who are pretty unique with their civ bonuses, but then your opponent bans Bengalis. You don't get to play them. But in Super Draft, you know for sure you have the Bengalis, so you can spend a few hours messing around against the AI, putting together an absolutely perfect build, and you know for sure your opponent cannot ban that civ. So that's what I do like about Super Draft, and I think Budapest will give some opportunities for players to achieve those kind of things. All right, moving on to New England. Now, I am just going to look up for my own curiosity, and so I can give the proper shoutouts where New England came from. And if
Hmm.
anyone says America, timed out of the chats.
Gosh.
Okay, so New England AOE2 map. So New England was played last in Meta World Tour, which was a B tier tournament. Yeah, a B tier tournament for from last fall, which featured a lot of players that are in Super Draft, including Tato, ACCM, Salted Pepper, Dr. Cosmonaut, and freaking Andy. So, yeah,
Hmm.
this is where this map originated.
There's no VODs though. That's so we don't even get to. We have to really just kind of see what
Now,
strategies can come
hey,
up with.
I King Boo and Matsy did play a game on this in the
That's
show
true.
match, and Matsy went FC with the Mongols into Step Lancers, and it was pretty obnoxious. And King Boo went for Water Approach, and didn't matter. There were Step Lancers everywhere, which was a little unfortunate for him. But yeah, this map
Hmm.
it is a hybrid map, but it's a hybrid map where all your water is always connected. So it's kind of like a half of Scandinavia. But you always know you're going to be docking, if you're going to dock, on the same side as your opponent, which does make it interesting. Because you know you can always contest for water, but you also know that your fish is always in danger. Other elements of the map, there are two ponds in the middle here that have no fish in them, so they're kind of a bait. You could go for, I suppose, galleons, cannon galleons, fish trap booming in here later on. but maybe not necessarily. Well, definitely not in the early game. You can see there's one island out into the waters here that does have goldstone and a relic. All the relics on this map are in the middle. There are none closer to the opponent, so relic control, especially with relic victory being enabled, will be pretty important. And then at the top is where all the extra gold is. It always spawns at the top here. There's a lot of different areas of this map to control. So it'll be on the players to prioritize where to control. Do you want to make sure you control the water? But then you give up the gold control at the top. Do you want to make sure you control the relics? But then maybe you give up the water. Also, all the stone is in the middle, but also in the middle is cracked terrain. So if you want to control stone, but you got to put up fortifications there, but they're all on cracked terrain, could make it a little more difficult. So yeah, not really sure which civs, which strategy is best here, but I think probably just your generic hybrid map civs, probably a best bet here. Things civs like Lithuanians, Italians, um, maybe even Persians, yeah, of course.
Spanish come to mind for me on this one. This is a map that I've puzzled the hardest about trying to pick a civ for, and I'm just not sure about it.
Yeah, it
This
is
one,
gonna be interesting for sure. And
this one really pulls and pushes a player.
with
This pulls
half
and
the
pushes you.
pros having played it before, maybe they'll have an edge over those that haven't. So maybe freaking Andy can come up with a strat to beat Hera since he played this one before. Now
This is a
moving on.
military map, though, for sure. This is
Yeah,
a
you can't
military map.
really wall. Well, depends. Sometimes the wood lines do spawn nicely. Like for the red player here, that wood line is pretty nice if you wanted to wall it up. The next map we have is Painted Desert, which is also from a different tournament. It was featured in Terra Nova Duos and the World Desert Championship. But trust me, it does work for 1v1. We have tested this. So it does work for 1v1s. It is kind of like Arabia-ish. Uh, you can't really wall it, so maybe it less like Arabia. Maybe more like Kilimanjaro, another AoE 2 map. All the wood lines are in the back here, and all your golds are in the hills, which means forward. So this is going to be heavy feudal aggression, I gotta think. Yeah, not much more to say. There's hills that have a bunch of gold and stone in them, and the wood's all on the outside, and all the relics are in the hills too.
Are they all around the map or in the middle of the map?
The relics looks like it's just wherever the hills spawn, and
Okay, so all around.
the hills don't always spawn. They're perfectly in the middle. Like you can see, this one's more of like kind of a U at the bottom. This one's like a big mountain range in the middle. So yeah,
Okay.
there's one civ that comes to mind that might be busted on this map. Uh, Actually, I guess there's two civs that have hills bonuses now.
That's
So
right.
so
That's
maybe
right.
there's two civs that people will want to rank at the top because they want to take it to their opponent on Painted Desert. But yeah, you want Tatars or Georgians here? I gotta think. Any other civ strategies you think come to mind here? This one was not played in the show match, by the way, so
You
we've
know,
not really
I I
seen what
I
what this map
I picked
entails.
I picked more camels than not civs that can camel. I really think this is another map I think is very cavalry heavy.
Yeah, and I
But
think
that's
it's
just
gonna be in the feudal age for sure, because you cannot wall at the front, or if you could wall the front, props to you, or
that.
not props to your opponent for letting you wall up the front.
No, you just have to be in for a fight for
Yep,
this map. It's a
definitely,
fight.
definitely. All right, next map we got is Team Islands, standard map. The biggest thing here is your island is absolutely massive, which is good for you because you got a lot of res, but also maybe be good for your opponent because they have a lot of places where they can land you and have a sneaky base where you don't actually know where they are. That's why I picked team islands versus regular islands because, you can boat if you want. The pros might not say you can boat if you want, but I bet you at the lower levels you could go full boating action and probably win the game. But yeah, it's going to be sneaky landings, but unlike Northern Isles, you don't start with a transport ship, so hey, maybe picking the transport civ, maybe someone picking Sicilians here, maybe could work out for them. But yeah, team islands, no neutral islands. You just got your res on your side, opponents got their res on their side, and that's how it is. That's how it be.
Well, it's Saracens are your other sneaky transport civ with double
True.
capacity.
True.
So there's two choices on that strategy.
Some people have criticized this map being included because they think it's only going to lead to landings, which, hey, maybe it will. But I
Landings
think
are
landings
stressful.
are fun. I think landings are
Yes,
fun to watch, so yeah.
landing is high risk. You can if your landing gets shut down, you can be so far behind.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if your opponent has invested into the water, because there is still a lot of fish. There's less fish than on islands, but there's still a lot of fish. All right, and now the final map for Super Draft 4, Z Wall, included in reverse pick, the other pro tournament we have ran. You could see through the middle of the map is a neutral wall. It does not gain extra HP. So the HP it starts with in Dark Age is the HP it has. It gives you no vision. You cannot convert this. This is Gaia Wall. So to break through to your opponent, you have to bust through here. I believe you can repair it though, so you can't really attack it with villagers. So you can't really bust through it in Feudal Age. Unless you're humans and build a siege workshop in Rams in Feudal Age. But yeah, you can't really bust through in Feudal Age. But also huge wall to have to wall behind if you want to be safe and boom it up in the back. The other element of this map that we saw a lot in reverse pick, standard victory. And while each person does have 3 relics on their side, which means if you both FC, you should easily be able to get your monastery up and a monk out and a relic in your monastery before your opponent breaks through. Sometimes people just forget about the monastery. Their opponent is marching down their throat with a siege monk rush. The rush gets shut down, but they have somehow managed to bring all the relics back to the back of their base, and now are totally fortified their back, and you have a 50 villager lead, but can't get through in time. So I think standard victory really adds a nice element to this map. You got any thoughts on Z Wall?
Hmm. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm just thinking that when they built this game, they thought standard would be the standard and not just conquest. And uh, I mean, relic, great. The wonder victory is the one that I'm drooling for. If you can pull the wonder off here, I would love that.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so. We do have 2 former Clown Legion members have signed up for the tournament, so I wonder what clown action they're going to be able to come up with on this map.
It's standard victory. Standard victory.
Yes, just imagine if RM Coup beats ACCM with a standard victory. That would be hype. If anyone beats Hera with standard victory while he's streaming and he's like, "What? It's standard victory? Oh my god."
That or vice versa. They win streaming with a wonder. I
Yeah,
like that
that
too.
could be like, yeah, Hera trying to troll people by winning with the Wonder.
I
Would
mean, do we
would be
have a Hera Wonder Rush build order yet? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Yeah, good point. Good point. If Hera's watching this now or in the future, maybe you gotta practice your Wonder Rush build order draft Spanish first. Alright, but you got any other questions about the maps, Graham, or anyone in chat? Or about the
No,
tournament in general?
no, I'm good. I appreciate going through this
Alright,
with
yeah,
you because
thanks
it
for
it
hopping on. A lot
well,
better
I
to go
had
through it with two people than just me reading it off.
well, and I got a lot of value because there were things I read through this twice, and there were things that I missed. Like, um, oh, what was it? I think what were the highlights for me here? Well, the map draft, how that worked, the tiebreakers. Um, there was one other thing that I thought was pretty insightful. I'm just looking through this real quick before we break. Yeah, no, no, I can't quite remember it. I think I got it. This was super helpful.
Okay, well, hey, thanks for hopping on. Appreciate it. And yeah, that'll be it for us tonight. Hopefully, I can get this working so it does go up on YouTube. And I'll share it with everyone. If not, VOD will always be available. And yeah, share it with anyone you think has missed it. I'll post it in the Discord. And we will be logging off.